Welcome back to the Unbiased Opinion, where everyone's opinion is biased. Except ours. I am Colin.
I am Craig.
Ugh.
And
I don't know.
Daniel.
That's what you're going for.
Well, it wasn't. It's just how I talk. You're making fun of me.
I am.
That's very funny. And where's the other guy?
I'm Daniel.
Okay, so Daniel, how about you introduce the movie this time, because you've been trying to get us to watch this for quite some time.
Mm-hmm. So the movie we're going to be talking about is Bullet Train. It came out this year. I believe it came out on this summer. It came out in August. Released on Netflix. I kind of stumbled upon this movie by accident. I had seen the trailers and stuff for it, and then one day I was bored and I saw like it was being sold on Netflix. So I was just like, why not watch it? And I I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was pretty entertaining. I had no expectations for it, but yeah. So it's essentially it follows Brad Pitt. He's this assassin who's coming back from like therapy with like a new peaceful approach on life, getting back into his first mission. He hops onto a bullet train in Japan, and his mission is pretty simple. He just has to recover um, a briefcase full of money while talking to his like guidance, voiced by Sandra Bullock. And as the plot continues, his plot over intersects with a bunch of other assassins on the train. Um, and yeah, it kind of becomes like a wacky, like a series of events that intertwine and everything. So, but yeah, I enjoyed this movie. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it. Thought it was pretty fun and clever, and just a good action comedy.
Craig, what did you think of Bullet Train?
I actually liked it too.
Oh,
Were you surprised?
yeah, I thought you would hate this, honestly.
No, I liked it. I mean, well, it was you watch it for the action. Like it's the same. I know it's one of the co-directors from John Wick, and he's on other stuff too.
He did Hobbs and Shaw, our favorite.
Well, the action's good. And those, I mean, that to me was the big thing. Like it was just entertaining. Yeah, the
Yeah,
characters weren't that annoying.
yeah, and that's the thing too with this movie. Like, it wasn't trying to be something else other than like a simple, entertaining action comedy, which it delivered on.
I mean, that's really it. Like it was exactly what it advertised, or at least what it tried to be. I
I
guess Colin
agree.
didn't like it.
I didn't hate it. I thought it was mostly good. I just couldn't stand in the beginning when Boring Soldier Man, one of our favorite actors on this program, um, him and Brian Tyree Henry, another MonsterVerse alumni, very shameful. When they were bickering back and forth when they're first introduced, I couldn't stand them. I was like, "Oh my god, this is terrible."
Yeah, I mean that was definitely a weaker part. But to me, like, I don't know who you hate more, but I easily hated the Thomas the Tank Engine aficionado.
Yeah, that was a little
So
weird. That
he was
You're a
codenamed
diesel.
Lemon,
yeah.
and then Soldier Man was Tangerine. Those were their code names.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll admit, like the opening, it did take like it was boring in the beginning, but once the plot started intersecting and all the characters started meeting and fighting, that's when it really picked up. But in the beginning, it was a bit slow. And I also when I first watched it, rewatched it again. Like that part about him talking about Thomas the Tank Engine, that annoyed me at first too. I was like, is this guy really gonna like propose the idea that he learned everything from a kids show? He keeps talking, but
Well, he
I know
did.
these kinds of movies, you have to have like quirky characters. That's his quirk, his
yeah,
obsession for Thomas the Tank Engine, which just
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, and it fits in the sense of the entire movie because every character has their niche, or their like quip to them. Like Brad Pitt's, trying to like every fight he gets into, he's trying to like talk it out and everything. Or the other guy, the wolf, he like was howling after every kill.
Yeah, it felt like a
But
cartoon kind of.
yeah, but I think it fit in the set in the way the movie was. It was just it was silly but fun.
Well, because I thought it was so funny. Like the when they killed the wolf, like they spent like 5 minutes going over his backstory just to kill him
Yeah,
immediately.
Well, it's not even just kill him; it's how he dies. He throws a knife and it bounces off of Brad Pitt's suitcase and it stabs him.
in the heart nonetheless.
Well, yeah, but it's like it's played for laughs. Like he's trying to be this peaceful, like he just want to do a snatch and grab. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I killed you."
Yeah, yeah. I guess should we break down each of the characters?
You can, yeah, go for it.
No, you don't wanna you wanna take the lead.
Well, you like this movie more than I do, so I could feel the passion in your voice. So I want you to continue.
Well, I know it's no Bohemian Rhapsody, Colin, but you can
You
you
know,
can enjoy it.
you're really funny.
um, but yeah, I guess we should start with Brad Pitt's character, codenamed Ladybug, because he feels he's unlucky, but kind of is actually lucky throughout the movie. Um,
Yeah, but look at the
Kinda.
end of the movie.
what?
I
At
said
the end of
kinda. He is lucky. What he survives at the end is just incredible.
the
um, but his character, he's like I said, he's coming back. It's like his first mission back. They don't say how long he's been gone, but he went through some therapy session. He keeps referring to his therapist Gary throughout like the mission. Um, and he's talking to Sandra Bullock. I forget what her name was revealed to be, but
Was it
yeah,
Beetle or something?
Oh, I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
it was Maria Beetle. That's what it was. Um, but I thought he was easily the best character in the movie. He definitely carried it. Especially, I thought the best moments was him interacting with the other characters, like where he, like he fights the wolf, and like the whole time, like the wolf is just straight, just trying to kill him, and he's like, can we just talk this out? But I also like that how effective he is too in fighting them. Like the action, like you're saying, Craig, was good. But I thought he easily was the best part of the movie, especially when he's talking to Lemon, and Lemon's just like he's just trying to get the gun back, and he's like, "Listen, there's a wall between us right
Yeah.
now. It's an illusion, but there's doors through it that we can, just trying to talk it out with the guy."
Yeah, you kept messing
Um,
up the metaphor. You kept saying like, I forget you said like the first time, but it's like a window. No, it's a door, a door.
yeah, and I will say I did like the with the Thomas the Tank reference. When they were talking, those two, and he's like, you're a diesel. He goes, I'm not a diesel. I'm trying to get diesels out of my life, man. Like he's trying to have a therapy section with the guy as he has a gun to him too. Like, and then but yeah, and what about what do you think, Craig?
Oh yeah, he's like one of the best characters too in the movie. Like even then, like he was trying to give up the briefcase just so he could get off the train. He kept getting sucked back into everything.
Yeah,
Trying to be the nice, peaceful guy. I'm guessing
I
Colin
did.
hated him.
What, Brad Pitt?
Yeah,
No, I liked him.
Yeah,
so he's calling Brad Pittstain. So I was expecting a joke.
Yeah. Brad Pitt stain.
I also thought it was funny too, like his interactions like with the other passengers too. I thought they did a good job blending in that, or like where he was like when he tripped over that anime character
He just
and
punches it in
like
the face.
it wouldn't let the person, he just turned and punched it. I thought that was pretty funny. But let's
Yeah,
see
because
you,
the main thing
Colin.
too is like the interaction with the other characters. Like I love like one of the first silent fight. It was him and Lemon, the Thomas the Tank Engine guy. Like they were fighting in like the quiet section of the train.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
that
like,
lady kept shushing him, and he
they're
like
trying to
at
be
one point.
respectful.
And then at the end, he's just like, you know what, lady, like eat a bag of, whatever. And she just looks at him. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm working on it. And then he just keeps going about his, or that lady was funny too when Lemon stepped off the train and she's like, excuse me. And he's like, you are absolutely effing excused. And she just looks at him. Like I thought that was funny too. Like um, I also did like with the I guess the way the movie was like shot and everything, um, and how they kind of pieced the story together. Like, not that they told everything right away, but some elements like they would drop hints throughout the movie. Like in the beginning when the uh, I forget the Japanese assassin, the guy whose son was in the hospital. Like
He
they
was called like the father.
It's like Waturu, Waturu.
that
No,
was the kid.
Matsuru was the son.
Oh, my
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. But like they um he looks on the TV and they're talking about like the escape snake, and then he like turns it off, and then later it brings it in. Like they didn't just have like they had quips like in and out, like they were dropping things throughout. I thought that was cleverly done, like for the way the movie was shot. But
Also, like, so I guess the interactions between the characters, like, they were fighting, teaming up again, teaming up and fighting each other again, and then
yeah,
changing loyalties. Like when Boring Soldier Man found Brad Pitt staying in the bathroom, he's like, he showed him the location on his phone. He's like, oh. And they fought.
yeah. What say you, Colin?
I guess you really not like it if you're not saying anything.
No, I liked it. I don't know. I really don't have too much to say about it. I thought it was mostly entertaining, except the beginning where Boring Soldier Man and Lemon bickering. I just hated it. I was like, oh, I want to shut this off. This is really annoying.
Yeah,
But it did get better. I mean, I know there was a payoff for him and his weird obsession with Thomas the Tank Engine. Like, I can only imagine someone having to research, like the screenwriter having to research Thomas the Tank Engine to come up with all these connections. Because I'm
Yeah,
like,
you
who
have
who
Percy.
knows this stuff?
Because, I mean, I remember watching it very little when I was a kid. Like, I remember next to nothing about it.
I
Like, some
remember
people remember stuff.
Gordon. I remember him because he's like the big guy.
I remember next to nothing except for, like, Thomas. Like, absolutely nothing. It's like it's erased from my brain.
Yeah, and the fact that some grown man probably had to go rewatch all this or just went on like the Thomas the Tank Engine wiki.
Or in the Thomas the Tank Engine subreddit.
Yeah. Oh, God.
they just paid some intern to watch like all the episodes straight.
Alec Baldwin was in a Thomas the Tank Engine movie.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, it
Did he
was like
shoot
it's
somebody?
called the
Allegedly?
no, it's called Thomas the Tank Engine Magic Prop Gun.
Oh, okay.
Just kidding. I think it was called the Magic Railroad.
Actually, I think I do remember that movie.
Yeah, it's the guy
What's
with the
the
big
title of
claw
it?
on his in his head. Do you remember that?
I don't remember
The
that.
big train with the claw. Doesn't matter. Um, trying to think of other things. Yeah, it was funny when the wolf guy died. That was pretty funny.
Okay, I was just laughing because they showed his entire backstory. I think he's gonna be some big
Yeah,
character and
it
just
showed
died
him like
immediately.
falling in love, and then at the wedding, everything horrible happening.
And he's dead. Well, it's the same thing. That was the same with the Hornet, the poisonous assassin. I thought,
Yeah.
oh, I guess she's gonna be a big. Oh, she's dead.
Yeah, she gets
I like
poisoned
how he
by
got
the
her
thing.
too. Like immediately, he got poisoned. Immediately jabbed her in the throat or whatever.
And then he waited for her to pull out the antidote and then just took it from her.
Yeah.
So wait, you don't have a backup? Can I get you a water?
Even the water too had a backstory at the very end because it ends
Oh
up
yeah.
saving. So during the movie, I thought that was Michael Shannon, and I was like, that's what distracted me the most. I was like, is that him? It looks like him. And then after the movie, I looked it up, and it was Michael Shannon as the guy who,
The
The
um,
White
White Death.
Death.
yeah, the White Death.
I recognized him, but like only at the end because I don't think you saw his face until the end.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
even at the end, I was like, is that him?
They're
Yeah.
doing not the best Russian accent.
Yeah.
What I found funny about this movie is like his son, played by is it Logan Lerman or something?
That was
Yeah,
him?
that was Logan Lerman.
Oh my
He was
god.
the son. I thought it's funny that if you think about it, for this movie, he got paid to literally like sleep throughout the whole movie. They kept him there the whole time. He was just like he
Yes,
dies in like the
corpse.
first like yeah, like he literally got paid to just pretend to be dead in a train seat for the whole time. But yeah, and then there was so there was the father, um his name the his official name, yeah, he's referred to as the father, Craig. He was a Yakuza member, but his name is Yuichi Kimura.
I
Um
prefer to go by his nickname.
yeah, so he's on the his character, I mean, I didn't really, I guess his character is more of the emotional side. Like there wasn't much to his actual character in terms of like dialogue or development. He was just an avenging father looking to find his son's, the person that put his son in the hospital, that pushed his son off a roof. I was like, geez.
That's
Um,
funny because he got upstaged by his own father. I think the elder.
yeah,
I guess his father was so much cooler.
yeah. But he, he kind of was just there in the sense of everything. He was just being manipulated by the girl, um, Nick, codenamed the Prince.
I hated her so much.
Well, I think you're supposed to though.
I know, but still, I was
Yeah,
just like, oh my god, I wish terrible things upon her.
I mean, I wish he died in a more gruesome way, but at least he died.
yeah. Yeah, I didn't. Those two, I was kind of happy the movie kind of put those two together for most of the movie, um, because they were like probably the two of the I think probably two of the most boring or worst characters. Like the father just didn't really have much to say. He just wore that like tired, sweaty look on his face, like he was just out for blood, and she was just annoying, trying to essentially prove her worth to her father that just rejected her because she wasn't a boy.
That's why
um,
she's called the prince instead of the princess.
yeah, yeah. Well, she said that she's like, my parents wanted a boy. Um,
Big oof.
and then yeah, and then there's
Happy they're
Lemon
not
and
in China.
Tangerine. What?
She'd be happy she's not in China because the one child policy. They would have gotten rid of her.
Well, good thing they're in Japan.
Just
That's
ignore
yeah.
him.
But
Daniel, just ignore him.
No,
Continue.
that's what I was saying. It was a good thing she wasn't in
Daniel,
China.
just ignore
yeah,
him. Just continue.
and then there is
Artists are never
obviously
appreciated this time.
Lemon and Tangerine, the two twins, or the twins, as they were nicknamed. Which I did like that Brad Pitt, where everyone was just acknowledging them as the twins, and Brad Pitt's like the one like, oh no, they're the Bolivian guys, but they're not twins. Definitely not twins. Their
Yeah, I don't
backstory,
see how they're related.
yeah. But then you see that they were like raised together, weren't they? I believe they were orphans raised together.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Um,
assuming. I mean, I don't think
no,
it said
that no,
specifically, but
the backstory had it like basically alluded, if it didn't explicitly say, like, they were like orphans together and they grew up together, so they were, they consider each other brothers. That's why
yeah.
they were called the twins. But I did like Brad Pitt was like, yeah, no, they're definitely not twins. But they were they ended up on the train, because they did like a Bolivian job, and everything.
Yeah, they reference that
Uh,
so many times.
yeah.
I thought it was really annoying that they counted how many people they killed. I was like, they could have easily just removed that. They're arguing, oh, we killed 16 people. No, it was actually 17. Like, I think they should have removed that part because that didn't amount to anything.
Well, kind of, that's the quirky dialogue you have to say to get them to so they can like,
Yeah, you don't need that.
yeah, that's their quirk. They're the
Right?
bickering brothers.
Don't need that.
Well, that sequence had the director as a cameo,
Yeah, I did see
David
that on
Leash.
the Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, I don't know what the guy looks like either. Until I
Yeah.
said on Wikipedia he was the 17th guy killed.
Yeah, he was the innocent bystander that ran to help the car on fire and it blew up on him.
Tough scene.
Yeah. And then the Yuchi's father. I thought he was pretty cool. Like
The
how
elder.
he kind of, yeah, I thought he was pretty cool.
Yeah, he basically came in like bossed everyone around like I'm gonna get my revenge. He's like, oh, you don't think he's upschooled or upstaged the girl or the prince
Upschooled.
Yeah.
or what?
Yeah.
What did I say?
He said upschooled.
Oh, I
What is?
upstaged the girl. A little dyslexia, but Yeah, he's like, you
Yeah.
don't think I would leave my own son not protected properly? Like the nurse takes out that creepy guy standing over the child.
Yeah, no one in the hospital would just see some guy lurking by the window with a child.
Like, I don't care how big he is. Like, he'd probably call security. Like, why is this strange man watching this child?
Yeah, he was just standing there, not blinking.
Oh, this is hot. That's probably what he was saying.
Oh no, Colin.
Oh my god. Especially considering they'd seen the father and grandson, and they seen the father and grandfather at the hospital with the kid. They'd be like, "Who's this guy?"
But why is he only around the children's wing?
Yeah, but I thought it was funny with the like Brad Pitt. Like every time he would walk by, like or a few times he walk by, the snake would be there. And then they also had they had a couple cameos in the movie.
They had Ryan
Specifically
Reynolds at the
and
end.
Channing Tatum in the middle.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that really a cameo though? He kind of had a role.
I guess you would count it as a cameo because I think he had like 3 lines or like three
Channing
parts of
Tatum?
dialogue. Yeah,
Yeah, I wouldn't say he was a cameo. Ryan Reynolds was definitely the cameo.
I mean, it depends
yeah,
on how you want to define it. Maybe I'm just being a stickler, but yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah,
yeah.
boy Ryan
I
Reynolds
thought,
appears for one scene.
yeah, I thought the Channing Tatum scene was funny too. It's like, hey, bro, you want to make a quick $200? He just looks around. Is this like a sex thing? And he just looks at him like, no. He goes, oh yeah, yeah, no, I was just kidding.
Maybe.
And like Soldier Boy, like he pulls up on him with the disguise, and then he like walks away. He's like, I do love an accent. And then and then he walks away and goes, God, he has a great walk. I thought that was like a funny little thing they added, but
And Ryan Reynolds just appears because he's Ryan Reynolds.
yeah, he was just like the bane of Brad Pitt's existence throughout the movie.
I think that's kind of cool. Like, I guess that it came full circle, like why he was there. All of this happened because that one guy wasn't there, Carver.
Yeah, it plays on the theme of like fate and luck. Um,
He
and,
was
and
just
that's the
filling
thing too.
in the whole time.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I thought like the writing for the movie, with the exception of a few bits of dialogue, was good. I thought they had a lot of like setups and payoffs, especially with like all the characters, the quips, like even like we are saying with like the Thomas the Tank Engine, even though the quipping, like the dialogue for it was annoying at first and kind of overused, it does pay off in the end. And everything like you're saying, Craig, does come like full circle. I thought, and I thought they did a good job of intersecting everyone's like plots, and everything. So that's why with the movie, like I was shocked by how much I kind of enjoyed it because I just again I think what helped is I had no expectations and everything, but I just thought it was like it was just a clever movie, like dialogue and everything, plot, and like especially like the action. I was surprised. I was actually surprised with how well they did the action because of like the
Oh, that
movie
to me
and
was
like
like the big thing I liked about it because a lot of action movies that come out now are kind of garbage.
yeah. And the thing too is like with Brad Pitt's character, like, and I think the reason like the action kind of surprised me with how good it was because of how kind of quippy, like with the characters having all these quips and their things and like their dialogues, and they have these funny interactions with each other, and it's like you almost forget they're like assassins sent to kill each other because then they start fighting and they're actually they're fighting like trained and like, and I also do like how like in the fight, especially like Brad Pitt's fighting scenes, like he's almost fighting like I don't want to say like the choreography is like Jackie Chan or like James Bond. However, or like or be like Bourne, like Jason Bourne, but how he fights, like I do like that they use he used the environment around him. Like he's using the laptop or the luggage to deflect the knife, or like, they're fighting in the bar, he's using bottles and stuff. Like
That
he
to
was
me
very
always reminded me of
resourceful.
Jackie Chan.
Yeah, like it was like that's why with like with the action surprised me. It's like how well it wasn't just straight hand to hand. Like they were using the elements of the train in the fight. Like or like it, when him and Soldier Man first fought, and
Boring
like
Soldier
he
Man.
yes, and then he has him down like he's about to stab him with like the toothpicks, and like he hits the eject button. They both like hang like they both fly out and hang on the side of the train and like have to climb back in. Like it was stuff like that. Like I was just like it was pretty cool how they actually used the setting of a train to the strengths of the fight scenes.
Like I said, to me, it was easily the best, like the best part of the movie. Like the story's never gonna, win the award. It was entertaining, but like it would definitely help. The action was, I think,
Oh
so
yeah.
good.
Oh yeah. By no means do I think this movie should ever, it shouldn't win an award or anything. Like I'm not going to be, wowed by it, but it was just a fun movie.
And Colin hates one, that's why he didn't like it.
I didn't hate it.
You coming
Yeah.
around to it?
Yeah.
I
Well,
just
it,
didn't.
it,
The beginning dragged a lot.
it did.
Especially with the stupid bickering. They think they're being clever, but it's really not. It's just them just saying nonsense in the beginning. Like
I
aside
think
from some of the Thomas the Tank Engine stuff, all the other bickering and them debating about how many people they killed, they could have removed. That was just so annoying.
I
the
think
quirky characters.
I think the beginning they could have maybe waited a bit longer to introduce the twins, and just maybe focus more on Brad Pitt in the beginning.
But you got to introduce them because like the moment they like leave, that's kind of kicks off the
Yeah,
plot where the son dies.
that's true.
Uh,
I guess maybe just rewrite their dialogue. Yeah,
I
but
think
like,
Paul just hates those actors. I mean, I'm gonna say I think he doesn't like those two actors.
No, they're it just it's unfortunate what movies they decide to be on for those two
Because you
guys.
loved him, I know you definitely loved him in Godzilla vs Kong. You
Just not.
never mentioned the reviewed the Eternals, but I can't
well,
imagine you liked them there either.
Oh, there's a
I
funny
will
part in
say,
the Eternals where it's implied that he gave the atom bomb to the Americans, and then he's sitting in the ruins of like Hiroshima, just crying, saying something like, it's like, what have I done?
What you think was gonna happen?
It's really tasteless.
I mean, I will say this about Brian Henry in this movie. At least I could hear what he was saying and understand him, because in the Godzilla vs Kong, I couldn't hear half the things he was saying because he was like whispering. Like
He's
at
hanging out
least
with
in this, I could.
children.
At least this, he was talking like I could hear him. Yeah, to children. I really wonder why he was whispering then. But um, and
He didn't want to get caught by Chris Hansen.
yeah, Chris Hansen's in the one scene on the train. Chris Hansen sits down across from him. What are you doing here?
He's not British, right? He's not.
No, he's not
He's
British at all.
because I mean I noticed this like in our last review. I think it was Rocket Man. His mom was played by the girl from
Bryce Dallas
Jurassic
Bryce
Park.
Howard.
Dallas Howard, yeah.
Yeah, like, clearly her accent was worse, but his I think was at least more convincing, at least to me. It
Hmm.
wasn't fully convincing, but at least I could. Well, it doesn't sound that bad.
Yeah, and also like with other characters in this movie, I thought I had for a good portion of the movie when I heard Sandra Bullock's voice, I was like trying to put a name to it, and I was like, like it slipped my mind. But and then at the end when she showed up, I was like, oh, because I was like, I recognized her voice like almost immediately.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
know. I couldn't. I was like, what? I'm just gonna wait. It's not that important.
yeah,
I'll figure it out
but
eventually. If they don't show her, I'll just go on Wikipedia.
yeah, but I did like to touch on the I did one of the scenes I did like was um when Boring Soldier Man and Brad Pitt were fighting in the one part of the train, and like they have to stop their fight immediately because the concession girl comes in the middle of the fight, and she's just taking her time
He
and
makes
everything in the
Boring Soldier Man pay for the drink.
yeah. It's like he's so polite. He goes, "Do you actually have like sparkling or something bubbly?" He goes, "Oh, that's it, thank you." And then um but like while that was funny, but also too, I like how they went right back into fight where because Brad Pitt, like again with the resources, like he finishes drinking, he takes the bottle and just pegs it at his head.
Like you just chucked it at him. Like who throws this? Honestly,
Yeah, because it was funny. He's like, "Are you sure you don't want to talk this out?" He's like, "Nope," and he's like, "All right," and then just beams him.
good stuff.
Definitely one of. I was gonna say definitely one of the better like top movies I've seen, like new movies of this year I've seen.
There probably wasn't like based on something other than a book.
Well, yeah, and again, it's a simple movie, but like
Are
it,
you saying that
it
you
doesn't.
think this is better than Fast 9?
Is
I
that a
said
joke?
one of the top
Okay,
movies.
okay.
I didn't say the best.
All right, just making sure. We gotta make sure that check clears,
Still, yeah,
Yeah,
but
check clear. Like people would actually pay for us for our opinions.
uh, yeah, I did like the scene where like the girl was trying to like taunt the father, and he just like basically explains how he covered all his points and just one upped her on everything.
And she runs away crying.
Uh,
I did. I mean, I know we mentioned this before, but like, I did think it was kind of funny, like how he survived the train crash.
yeah,
Every little lucky thing that could go his way.
yeah.
Like, I know it's over the top. I think that's what made it comical.
He got launched from like one cart to another.
Yeah, to another, to another. Well, it's funny too because they show how he survived, and apparently, the elder and his son were just somehow survived. Like they don't like they're in the same car crash, but I guess they were okay. Even the White Death, like he had like a katana sticking out of his like shoulder. He
I
got
thought
up like it
he
was
died
nothing.
at that point. I didn't
Yeah,
realize
how's he still alive?
the anger keeps him alive.
Yeah. I also thought it was funny too, like the quick um, with like Brad Pitt talking to a beetle where when he was at like in the beginning where he's going to the locker to like pick up his like materials and like what he packs, he brings like firecrackers and like sleeping powder and leaves the gun. And she's like, "Are you really bringing the sleeping powder? Do you not remember you almost killed that one guy?" So he goes, I'm working on the dosage." And then like later in the movie, like when he pours it into the bottle for Lemon after he knocks him out in the fight, he like dumps the entire thing into the water bottle and just leaves it there for him.
Well, I said we definitely get a good shot of that because we get the entire history of that water bottle.
Because even before they showed that, like the whole history of the water bottle, I thought that was the same thing. So I'm assuming maybe they thought the audience was dumb enough not to remember the same water bottle. It was like the only Fiji one in the entire place, an entire plane, or not plane, entire train. God.
Yeah, that was like for
Yeah.
comedic effect. They weren't doing that. I don't think they think the audience was dumb. I think it was just like a funny, like history of the water bottle, recapping the movie a bit. It's I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Like I said, to me, like they just like the action. Like they don't make many good action movies anymore, right? Like I know there's John Wick. Like,
Yeah.
like what else is like comes to that's really good action anymore?
Hobbs and Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Besides that,
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
at least these big because these big budget movies they want like all CGI, no real stunts or action.
Yeah. I guess maybe James Bond with Daniel Craig was like the last set of movies with like good like action and like John Wick, but like outside of that, I really can't like think of too much.
Like, where are the good action movies?
There's
Like
the
watching you get
Kingsman,
punched.
but they're not good. But the action's good.
I mean, I only saw the first one. I didn't see the second or the third one.
Yeah, yeah. I only saw the first one.
They're mostly fun.
I actually don't like the
Call
second one.
Well, I don't, but Okay, so Dana, what did you think? Just to finalize your opinions on this. Final thoughts.
I recommend it. It's just a fun action comedy. It doesn't take itself too serious and know it knows what it's about. For the most part, the dialogue and writing is pretty good, pretty clever, and they just did a very good job overall with the movie. I was surprised how much I enjoyed it.
Craig, what say you?
Yes. Yes, I enjoyed it too. It's a very good action movie. Story's entertaining enough that I'll, keep you entertained when there's not action in the movie. Pretty good, pretty good. I'd recommend it.
I would also recommend it. I would give it a solid 6.5 out of 10, maybe a 7. They should just tone down on some of the quips, especially with Boring Soldier Man and uh, Lemon. Other than that, didn't bother
Your
me
two
too
favorite
much. The
actors.
movie, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I would recommend it. So this has been the Unbiased Opinion, where everyone's opinion is biased except ours. I'm Colin.
I'm Craig.
And I'm Lemon.
Uh,